brother. I think we can move on. Eric has a question. I think Eric was chatting last night. So Eric, you should be able to unmute and have at it, brother.
What's up, Eric?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Doing well.
All right.
Good. Yeah, so yesterday I wanted to ask the second question, and I actually ended up leaving the conference just because I had to go do a couple of things. But I'm glad you just recently spoke about it in this one. I wanted to talk about the estimated CPC statistics that the FAA published in the Workforce Guide last month, and I was just going to talk about that yesterday, and then you just mentioned about 10 minutes ago. There's a very big discrepancy, and so I was going to request some clarification on if the union has their own estimates and CPC estimates in the future, or do you and the agency work together to build the one that is published, or are they two different ones? Regardless, the current one that was published last month by the FAA, fiscal year 28 says CPC headcount 12,691. Grows at a 2.1% rate. So if you got to the 29 estimate that you just mentioned of 14,000, I'm showing 12,957, which is 1,000 CPC difference in 2029. So can you clarify that?
Yeah, we don't work with that is completely done by FAA Finance. And
Okay.
Their product that they have to produce under law to Congress. The same discrepancies that have got us in this staffing predicament are what we usually get from FAA Finance. Where we do work together on estimates is inside the air traffic organization. So you have the big overall FAA that FAA Finance is a part of. But inside the ATO, we look at much more defined metrics, and a lot of times Jamal Haltom and Chris Wilbanks being the manager on that, they look at, okay, at this rate with these successes, this is what our projection will be, and they do vacillate. But the latest ones that we've looked at show about, again, the end of fiscal year 2029. The end of fiscal year 2029. So going into 2030 calendar year, breaking through about a 14,000. And I'll double check that. One of the things we do want to do, Eric, to your point, is start making sure it's visually displayed. We show success rates right now, but I'd like to show facility projections, growth at a rate of, not just the PPT of what that would look like, but as this continues to progress, what does the system look like it's in its entirety? And then what does it look like kind of by region and by facilities as this is to go on? Like, what does that picture show? And when they start taking controllers away to be either supervisors, or they, stop hiring, or they do something different, I want to be able to show the same slide metric saying, at one time we were on a process to have this many controllers by 2030. And now that just extended it out till 2032 because the government shut down. That, I think, should be an evolution of not only for the public, for us as well, and the realities that we face, and it not just having to be everybody come up with their own math equation.
Understood. Yeah, I would like to point out too that the agency estimates a total net of 1,000 CPCs at the end of fiscal year 18 between now and fiscal year 2028, which comes out to about 3.2 CPCs per 313 facilities, which is less than one CPC per facility per year.
Okay.
So I would definitely think the union should maybe address that with the agency and ask for why such a low estimate. What are they forecasting that they decided to publish that they're only going to get less than one CPC per facility per year over the next 5 years? Because it's in the guide. You should look at it. Thanks. That's all I had.
It's a great point, Eric, and I definitely will. Actually, let me write that on this other piece of paper. Thank you for that.